The liberal commie leftoids will never recover from this.
In Newcastle County, Delaware.
All of this is Donald Trump is about to give the death blow to one of the top, biggest globalist kingpins out there. That is a big part of our media sphere and disinformation landscape, as truly, I think we're living in one of the best timelines ever, as cut after cut comes meme after meme of some really incredible things that I think a lot of us have been waiting for to happen, and they are now finally happening, as the ramifications couldn't be any bigger, especially with this top dog that has been recently cut down from a major position of power and public funding that was used and weaponized against the American people. Lots to discuss here, major moves here, as of course the memes are glorious, as even the White House is getting in on this themselves, as they recently pictured a fentanyl dealer that they're deporting in meme anime fashion on their official at White House page. Yes, you're hearing this correctly. Just when you thought the world couldn't get more glorious and incredible, we have this major move from Donald Trump that is also cutting funding from the World Trade Organization, a globalist organization that isn't doing the American people any favors at all. Another thing that Republicans are talking about is abolishing the TSA. Yes, it's not gay if it's the TSA. It's super gay, as this Department of Homeland Security is an absolutely ridiculous, awful agency that a lot of people like to make fun of. A lot of people like to say, these guys are ridiculous. They treat me and grandma like criminals. And they failed most of their tests with undercover operations at U.S. airports, with specifically people trying to, smuggle in fake explosives, firearms. Majority of them get through, as it's an astonishing 80% failure rate. This is ABC News. This is not a conspiracy theory. As we have learned, big, bloated government agencies are full of waste, and that is exactly what RFK Jr. is exposing today as well, as he has announced 20,000 job cuts at the HHS, which will save taxpayers $2 billion a year. Huge sums of money, as of course there's 82,000 full-time employees at HHS. All of this is they are failing at their job every single step of the way. Every time we look at any kind of metric, when it comes to health, when it comes to well-being, when it comes to our people actually doing, every single metric has been going down dramatically within the last few years, as we have increased this big bloated government beast. Now, there's only going to be 62,000 of them. I say 60,000 too much. I think even leaving 2,000 employees at this government agency is just an oxymoron with the way that they have been behaving. But some of the biggest cuts that I think are, a lot of people are saying, it's not as significant. Some people are saying it is significant, are the cuts that are going to be happening to NPR and PBS. As Congresswoman MTG says, yes, sir, Mr. President, we will defund NPR and PBS. The American people will not pay for disgusting Democrat propaganda anymore. As Donald Trump on Truth Social said, NPR and PBS, two horrible and completely biased platform networks, should be defunded by Congress immediately. Republicans don't miss this opportunity to rid our country of this giant scam, both being arms of the radical left Democratic Party. Just say no and make America great again. Well, it's not just a left-wing Democratic Party. It's also a bigger globalist enterprise here, as the lady that runs one of these institutions is a lot more sinister, interconnected, and interwoven to the establishment than we have previously thought beforehand. As we have this NPR CEO, Catherine Marr, who was testifying to Congress, as many people are believing that she lied through her teeth, as people are making compilations of her saying this.
I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus in getting important things done.
You have 87 registered Democrats, not a single Republican in your editor board. So, I mean, how does that work to give us the perception that you're doing your job of actually delivering unbiased information?
Well, I would agree with you that that number is a concern if it is accurate. I do believe that we need to have journalists who represent the full breadth of the American society so that we can report well for all Americans.
Yeah, and that's exactly what she didn't do. As we start to kind of look at her resume, we start to look into, hey, who is this lady? Who does she kind of represent here? And it's the who's of the globalist internationalist organizations that have been on a tear. Not just against Donald Trump, not just against middle America, but any form of sovereignty, any form of freedom and truth in our society, as she has argued and been a representative of some of the most sinister Orwellian arguments that have been made against the American people, the American Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and our country as it stands. She was a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, a member of UNICEF, the National Democrat Institute, the World Bank, the Atlantic Council, and the U.S. Department of State's Foreign Affairs Policy Board. And now this is the lady that's running NPR, and it makes sense when you start to look at the programming of NPR. It starts to make sense when you start looking into some of the programming there, as the things that she says really epitomizes globalist thinking in a totally bastardized way, as she's not only talking the talk, she's also implementing a lot of these particular policies. And we have more videos that we want to specifically show you. But before getting into all of that, don't forget to sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com, because unlike all these state partly funded woke mind virus factories, we are supported by you. And we have been supported by you for over 21 years. I'm proud to say that I never sold out. I never worked for anyone but you guys directly. And your support is definitely appreciated now more than ever. The quick and easy way to do that, and also get a lot of things in return, 13 plus videos of exclusive content in return, is to sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com, as we have videos centered there towards making you the best, most amazing version of yourself. Sign up here, click the link down in the description below, and just make sure to check your spam, as your email login and your credentials are usually sent to your spam. That's because, Google, I don't know, just doesn't like us for some strange reason. And you got a lot of great stuff in there. You got the seed oil cards that you could print out, or you could just get on Vista Print, and you go to your favorite restaurant. Those are really awesome and really great, really good and handy to have here, specifically with all the horrible things that are happening in our society. And then you have the crap list of items at the supermarket that you should be avoiding, since, HHS is doing such a great job that you need to rely on, just being hyper paranoid when you're at the frickin' supermarket. And we help you. Many handy guides, lots of handy information that you could utilize and implement in your life, all exclusively on LukeUnfiltered.com. So if you haven't signed up yet, sign up right now. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple, and it means a lot to us for this independent media organization. Let's get back to this globalist kingpin lady that previously literally came out and talked about how horrible the First Amendment of the American Constitution is.
The number one challenge here that we see, and is, of course, the First Amendment in the United States is a fairly robust protection of rights. And that is a protection of rights both for platforms, which I actually think is very important, that platforms have those rights to be able to regulate what kind of content they want on their sites. But it also means that it is a little bit tricky to really address some of the real challenges of where does bad information come from, and sort of the influence peddlers who have made a real market economy around.
Yeah. Oh, no, that dangerous First Amendment. As, of course, she's also on the board of Signal. That's also interesting. And as I've been telling people, hey, I wouldn't trust Signal personally myself. I've been saying that from the very beginning, because it just seemed too good to be true here. And a lot of the security experts I talk to say, yeah, absolutely, it is compromised. As she has been making arguments that specifically talk about how the First Amendment is a problem, how we need to censor, quote, bad information. Who gets to decide what's bad? Who gets to decide what's good? Well, If the information makes you look bad and exposes all of your corrupted, horrible friends and buddies, then yeah, it's bad. You can't have that, even though if it's information, but if it's deemed bad by the people who get affected by it badly, then it's bad. She described previously how truth is a distraction. She is now, in my opinion, lying to Congress, as she has previously come out and said that a free and open internet is a, quote, white male westernized construct. Yeah, what else would you expect from this woke, deranged syndrome? As, of course, we have to understand, this is not a serious media publication. This is a media publication that during the Hunter Biden story, which, by the way, was a huge story, which impacted this election, we had NPR come out and say, hey, New York Post that released a story and then it was censored all over social media about this specific incident. Yeah, they even posted, why haven't you seen any stories from NPR about the New York Post Hunter Biden story? Read more in this week's newsletter. And they wrote an answer here. We don't want to waste our time on stories that are not real stories. We do not want to waste the listeners' and readers' times on stories that are just pure distractions. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that Hunter Biden story wasn't a distraction. There was even mainline studies specifically highlighting how it made an impact on the election in favor of Joe Biden, which, according to some analysts, made the biggest difference and allowed Joe Biden to become the president of the United States. As this was a major story, and big tech social media censored it on behests of the intel agencies. NPR didn't even need to be asked to censor it. They just said, yeah, it's a distraction, guys. And they're supposed to be a partly publicly funded institution. And again, you look at this person's take. You look at everything that they're saying, specifically against white people. White people bad. White people are horrible. Again, she's one, if not the most prominent ones, giving out all the marching orders to all of these human beings that are pushing and propelling the divide and conquer agenda, that are trying to achieve total information dominance and supremacy over everyone else. This interaction that she had with Mr. Jordan, Congressman Jordan, was incredible. I'm going to play a significant portion of it because I think it's worth watching. It's worth paying attention to because your hard-earned money is going to this woman. There's Elon Musk responded to this saying, we got a ringer here at I Find Rereads. NPR leans to the left here. The comments are just absolutely epic, absolutely glorious, and so was this interaction.
Former senior business editor for NPR.
How long do you work at NPR?
I believe he was there just over 25 years.
25 years? Award-winning journalist? Did he win any awards?
Our time did not
Peabody
overlap.
Award? That's pretty important, isn't it?
That is,
So
absolutely.
pretty distinguished journalist, right?
Certainly.
And he wrote a long story about what you do at NPR. Is NPR biased?
Congressman, I have never seen any instance of...
Never?
Oh, my goodness. I have never... Are you kidding me? What? What kind of deranged, delusional, insane world are you living in, woman? Clearly. Are you crazy? Yeah.
Of political bias determining editorial decisions, no.
Well, Mr. Berliner, in his story last year, wrote, in the D.C. area, editorial positions at NPR, he said he found 87 registered Democrats, 0 Republicans. Is that accurate?
We do not track the numbers or the voter registration, but I find that
Was
concerning.
award-winning journalist who worked 25 years at NPR, Mr. Berliner, was he lying when he wrote that?
I am not presuming such. I just we don't track that information about our journalists.
87 to 0, and you're not biased.
I think that is concerning if those numbers are accurate.
It's concern. I mean, it wasn't 44-43. It wasn't 60-27. It wasn't 70-17. It wasn't even 80-7. It was 87 Democrats.
This is why people like this are vehemently opposed against the First Amendment. This is why they're opposed towards independent media. This is why they want to curate information for you because they want to control the narrative. Because once you get rid of their narrative, you expose them for who they really are. You expose the liars. You expose the sinister nature of all of the criminal things that they have been a part of. As clearly, she has a very important position of power here, and she's abusing it for her own political bias. The people that are hired here clearly are serving a political agenda, and she's going to say, no bias at all. No bias at all. No bias at all. No, nothing to see here. Yeah, fucking right. Right, Atlas? Yeah, freaking right. Right, Atlas? Yeah. Absolutely. And you get a doctorate. You're pretty good here. You're a lot better than that lady when it comes to speaking.
0 Republicans, and you say NPR is not biased. How about the big stories over the last few years? According to Mr. Berliner, again, he wrote on the Trump-Russia story, he wrote, at NPR, we hitched our wagon to Trump's most visible antagonist, Representative Adam Schiff. They said they interviewed him 25 times. Is that accurate?
I was not there at the time, but those numbers sound accurate. Yes.
Those sound accurate. But then he said when the Mueller report came out and they said, Robert Mueller said he found no evidence of collusion, he said Russiagate faded from our programming. Is that accurate?
Again, I was not there at the time. I couldn't say.
You couldn't say?
I was not at NPR at the time.
You didn't prepare for that? You knew we were going to ask you about this guy, didn't you? It's come up like 6,000 times already in the hearing.
I just couldn't say whether it faded from our coverage, sir.
How about this story? October 2020, the New York Post had the Hunter Biden laptop story, and one of those editors...
Yep, cut the funding immediately. I know Trump's trying to get Congress to act on this, but again, he has the control. Congress should be passing laws left and right now. I don't know why they're not. Either way. There needs to be some serious moves being made here, since clearly we're financing this. We're paying for this. We're paying for these type of globalist think tanks to spew their nonsense, their bullcrap, their hatred, their division in society. As of course, they would argue your words are dangerous. Your words have consequences. I would say the same with you. Same with you, ho. Same with you. Your words have consequences. Your words have actions. And she has been the bully pulpit. She has been the biggest cheerleader for destroying America, its Constitution, its values here. And now finally, under Donald Trump's administration and the great memes that we have here, we are seeing a reckoning. We are seeing finally people being held accountable for their actions, their lies, and the ideas that they have been subjugating us and forcing onto us that now clearly deserve to be examined. And if you agree with that, share this video. I think Trump needs to take executive action on this and not just specifically ask Congress to do. I mean, Congress act, hurry up, do something. But Donald Trump, I think, should do something as well. If you agree, share this video. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.